What if the end wasn't really the end? What if the moment that looked like complete defeat was actually the greatest victory the world has ever known? This is the story of the resurrection of Jesus, a story of hope, power, and a promise that changed everything. Just days before, everything had fallen apart. Jesus had been crucified. The man who healed the sick, who gave hope to the broken, who spoke of love and forgiveness, was gone. His body had been taken down from the cross and placed in a tomb. A large stone sealed the entrance. Guards were posted outside. It was over. Or so it seemed. For his followers, the world felt dark. The disciples were afraid, confused, heartbroken. They had believed in him, trusted him, left everything to follow him. And now he was gone. The silence was heavy. The hope they once had felt lost. 3 days passed. Then, early on the first day of the week, something unexpected happened. Before the sun had fully risen, a group of women made their way to the tomb. Among them was Mary Magdalene. They came with spices, wanting to honor Jesus, even in death. But as they walked, one question troubled them. Who will roll the stone away? It was large, heavy, impossible for them to move. But when they arrived, they stopped. The stone had already been rolled away. The entrance was open. Confused and afraid, they stepped closer. And then they looked inside. The tomb was empty. Jesus was not there. Suddenly, a bright light filled the space. An angel appeared. His presence was overwhelming. They were terrified. But the angel spoke gently. "Do not be afraid. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said." In that moment, everything changed. What seemed impossible was now real. Jesus was alive. The women ran from the tomb, fearful yet filled with joy. They had to tell someone. They had to tell the disciples. When they arrived and shared the news, it sounded unbelievable, too good to be true. The disciples struggled to believe it. But Peter and John ran to the tomb. They ran as fast as they could. When they reached it, they saw for themselves. The tomb was empty. Only the burial cloths remained. Something had happened. Something beyond explanation. Later that day, Mary Magdalene returned to the tomb. She stood outside, weeping, grieving, still trying to understand. Then she saw someone standing nearby, but she didn't recognize him. She thought he was the gardener. "Sir, if you have taken him, tell me where you have put him." Then the man spoke her name, Mary. In that moment, everything changed. She knew that voice. She turned and saw him clearly. It was Jesus, alive, not a memory, not a dream, real. Overwhelmed with emotion, she cried out. The one she had thought she had lost was standing right in front of her. Jesus then told her to go and tell the others. And so she did. "I have seen the Lord." But still, many struggled to believe. That same day, 2 followers were walking along a road to a village called Emmaus. They were talking about everything that had happened, confused, discouraged. Suddenly, a man joined them and began walking beside them. It was Jesus, but they didn't recognize him. He asked them what they were discussing.
Yes,
They
and the light
explained
guides us.
everything.
Peace
The
be
crucifixion,
with you on this journey.
the empty tomb,
Is it
the
really
strange
you?
reports.
We thought you were gone.
As they
I
walked,
am here
he
now.
began
You're
to
back.
explain the scriptures
My
to
children,
them. He spoke with
love
wisdom and
and
clarity.
one another.
Their hearts began to feel
Master,
something,
is it you?
hope
Jesus,
stirring
it is you.
again.
Peace be with you.
When they reached their destination, they invited him to stay. As they sat to eat, he took bread, gave thanks, and broke it. And in that moment, their eyes were opened. They recognized him. It was Jesus, alive.
Master, stay with
And
us.
just as
My
suddenly,
time has
he
come.
disappeared.
No, please.
They looked at each other in amazement.
You see that?
Weren't our hearts
did.
burning within us
It
as
was
he
a
spoke?
miracle.
They
The
rushed
stone
back
was
to tell
rolled
the
away.
others.
He's not there.
Now
We
the
must
stories
tell the
were
others.
growing.
Quick,
The
let's run
pieces
back
were
now.
coming
Yes,
together.
Let's go.
Jesus
My
was
children,
alive. Still,
love
there were
one
doubts.
another.
One of the
Unless I
disciples,
see
Thomas,
him myself,
refused to believe.
I will
Unless
not
I see
believe.
him myself, unless I touch his wounds,
Unless I see
I
him
will
myself,
not believe.
Unless I touch his hand,
Days later, the disciples were gathered together in a
I
locked
fear they are
room.
near.
The doors were
barred, but
shut.
For how long? We must have
Fear
faith.
still lingered. Then suddenly, Jesus appeared among them. Peace be with
Peace
you.
be with you.
They were shocked. Some were afraid. But he showed them his hands, his side. It was truly him, alive.
Put your
Then he
finger
turned
here.
to Thomas.
See my
Put your
hands
finger here.
and
See
stop
my
doubting.
hands. Stop doubting and believe. In that moment, Thomas's doubt melted away. My Lord and my God, he
Because
said.
you have seen me, you have
Jesus had returned
Blessed are
not
those
just
who
to
have not
prove
seen,
something,
yet have
but to
believed.
restore hope, to show that death was not the end. Over the next several days, Jesus appeared to many people. He spoke with them, ate with them, encouraged them. He reminded them of everything he had taught: love, faith, purpose. He gave them a mission to go into the world and share this message, to tell others what they had seen, to
Go into
spread
all
hope.
the world and preach the
Because this
gospel to every
story
creature.
was not meant to
Repentance
stay
and
hidden.
forgiveness of
Before
sins
he
will be
left,
preached in my
Jesus
name.
gathered his followers
You
one
are
last
witnesses
time.
of these things.
He spoke
Yes,
words
Lord.
that would stay with them forever.
Peace be with
You
you.
will
I am
not
with you
be
always.
alone. And then
Receive the
he
Holy
was taken up
Spirit.
into heaven. The disciples
Go
stood
and
there,
make disciples
watching,
of all nations.
not with fear anymore, but with purpose,
We will, Lord.
with
We will
courage,
carry your light.
with belief,
Courage and purpose.
because everything had changed. The resurrection of Jesus is more than just a moment in history. It's a message,
Truly,
a
this is
reminder
the
that
King.
no matter how dark things seem, there is always hope. That even when everything feels lost, something greater can be happening. That new life can come from what feels like an ending. So if you've ever felt lost, if you've ever felt like hope is gone, remember this story, because the tomb was empty. And that means the story didn't end there. It means there is still hope,
We are free.
still
Faster, don't look
purpose,
back. I can't
still
believe we made it.
life.
This way, to the path.
If this story spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful and timeless stories here
Welcome to the
on Timeless Stories Hub.
Stories Hub.
And tell us in the comments,
We are so
what does the
glad
resurrection
you could
mean
make
to
it.
you? Because sometimes the stories we hear are the answers we've been searching for.